If it wasn't for our organization right now, who would be our voice? With the generations being becoming further and further removed from agriculture, with the lack of knowledge of how our food is produced by the consumers that we provide food for, I think it's more important than ever that we have an organization that represents our industry, and Farm Bureau is that organization.
Well, I think New York Farm Bureau is important because farmers need a voice. We say, and we also need to stick together. We say every farmer needs Farm Bureau, and Farm Bureau needs every farmer, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. You know, we need a strong voice in Albany and Washington and so on. It's more important than ever with all the issues coming along that farmers stick together, no matter what commodity, no matter what type of production you're in, and speak with one voice so our legislators understand what we need, what it takes to ensure that we can go forward. You know?
Farm Bureau has given me a voice that I have been able to use being on the state board to go and talk with our congressmen, our state senators, and our other elected officials to tell them the issues that are going on our dairy farms, on our fruit farms, for any part of agriculture. It's been interesting getting the phone calls and being able to tell our story to newspapers, to TV stations, and tell them what's going on our farm, that how we treat our employees the right way, how we take care of the land, because we want to work off the land. We drink the water on our farms. We eat the food that we grow.
Those that have a vested interest in agriculture, when we stand together with one voice, that we have the hope of building a better tomorrow for agriculture. So when people refer to Farm Bureau as them, I just don't feel that they get it. It's not the staff at Albany and Washington. It's not just the board of directors. It's all of us. It's us. That's what Farm Bureau means to me.
Advocating to the general public about where our food comes from, the role agriculture plays, how important agriculture is to our economy. Also, advocacy in the Capitol in Albany and in Washington, D.C., as we work with our legislators to make rules that will help farmers be profitable, and perhaps advocate for less regulation and things that will help them.
I've been president of my county for 20-some years. I've been on state board 6 years because it is the only outfit fighting for the farmers' rights, fighting regulations that put us out of business. If you can name someone else, some other organization that's nationally recognized that tries to keep you in business, tries to fight the regulations that put you out of business, you name him, I'll go for him.
We also have a right to farm law that we take for granted until we need it. And if you're from the Hudson Valley or Long Island, the Ag Assessment Program is absolutely critical to not only the success of agriculture, but I mean, you wouldn't have it without an Ag Assessment Program. And those are things that Farm Bureau has done long ago, but they've made a huge difference on our bottom lines.
One area where Farm Bureau has helped out myself and my area is back during the WOTUS and the water regulation discussions. We were able to bring our congressman out to some local farms and take him around and show him how much of an impact it would actually have. I think that made a very positive impact, and it gave him something he could take back to Washington, D.C. to explain our side of the story.
Farm Bureau has been a key part of my life. As a child growing up, my family was always involved. A lot of our social events revolved around Farm Bureau activities and farmers and those connections. It's been very successful on local lobbying, county lobbying, and state lobbying. And it's been a lot of things that have been very beneficial for our farm operation that have come through the lobbying process and the connections we've made, my parents and grandparents both.
Farm Bureau, for me, has made a difference in my life as far as getting to truly understand the legislative process and what goes on behind the scenes, how we can make a difference at even the grassroots level. And it's been a great leadership experience and has provided a lot of opportunities for me to work with other leaders across the nation and to build friendships all over the country.
It's made a difference for me personally. We were able to get some regulations changed that actually helped us expand our business, and that wouldn't have happened without Farm Bureau's help.
For the issues that we have on Long Island, I know the minimum wage was a huge issue, and Farm Bureau was the first one out in front on this issue, battled really hard, and tried to help the family farmers stay in business, where the minimum wage can be very devastating for those of us who are still farming.
Farm Bureau has made a huge difference in our community by advocating for the right to farm laws and enabling us to do business and facilitate things that may not have been popular in the line of work we're in, but allow us to work in a community where there's many people who don't understand what we do for a living.
We have to remain a voice. We have to be relevant. We have to have a say. We are the people that, main group that advocates for 80% of everything that anybody involved in agriculture has in common. Land, taxes, and things along those lines. Yeah, we may disagree on some of the practices or some ways we do things, but there's still 80% of ag issues involve all of us.
If you look back from where our forefathers were 105 years ago, the James Quinns and the John Barons of the world, and you look at what they started, it was a movement. And it's a movement that we have changed and cultivated as the years have gone on. But it's because of that movement that we are able to say that agriculture is relevant today. And we will remain relevant as long as we in agriculture continue to speak as one voice. And Farm Bureau is that voice.